resistance movement primaries in Nsinjiro should be arrested. So they were arrested on the president's order, who happens to be the chairperson again of the NRM party, which had the primaries. So it's all in here. Get to know how it actually turned out to be. By the two police officers were arrested. A senior source said the assistant superintendent of police, Silvano Mojisha, the officer in charge of Chikangati police station in Sinjo district, and Corporal Abel Muchunguzi, the area crime intelligence officer, were arrested and transferred to Mbara Regional Referral Hospital, rather Regional Police Command. And still in the Daily Monitor on page 8, court dismisses a BCJ petition. This petition, what it was all about, get to know why it was dismissed. It's all in the Daily Monitor today. Then losers take NRM to court over rigging. This is interesting. Losers in the NRM primaries have taken the NRM party to courts of law for rigging. Now, you see, when you go to courts of law, you must have empirical evidence that is going to justify your cause to, court case. They're saying there was rigging. It's all in here. Then 10 nominated for Kampala Lord Mayor poll. Among them, there is a young youth called Michael Evans Mugabe. He's 24 years of age and he wants to be a mayor. And on quote, he said that he believes that the future is in the youth's hand. So it's upon him to take up the mantle. He comes from Alliance for Transformation. Evans Mugabe, 24 years of age, he says, "We are the right people for this position. I have worked under majority of the aspirants and I know the strength and weakness. We need a city in which every resident and worker enjoys a conducive environment." That is the mayoral aspirant, Mr. Mayanja Mugabe, 24 years of age. This is interesting. I love this. Among those who equally were highlighted, we had Elias Lukwago, the incumbent. We have Nabila Nagai Sempala, the incumbent for Kampala, a woman member of parliament. And then we have Ragadi. Then the others, we had Charles James Senkoboge and Sendagide. We had Edibazira Chibalama, Ben Lule, Joseph Mayanja, Chameleon, that is Innocent Kawaii as well, among others. They were all nominated yesterday. Now, court dismisses Message's petition on terrorism, and then Makerere University sued over gowns. Just the other night, the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University came out and said, regardless of COVID-19, whoever turns up to come to the university come with full tuition. What a joke. Here they're being sued for gowns. Get to know what is all in here. Lack of space in hospitals is affecting the installation of the ICUs, and they need roughly like 4 billion Ugandan shillings to get that. Then government and Maristops agree to change condom supplier. Thank you. Finally, it's here. Now, the withdrawal of LifeGuard. Yes, you can laugh about this, but I'm going to talk about it. The withdrawal of LifeGuard condoms last year left a huge gap that could potentially undermine the Ministry of Health's efforts to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS in the country and other STDs and STI. Well, this time, we are now getting these condoms from an industry which is pre-qualified condom manufacturer who are tested and certified distributors. That is Dr. Charles Olaro, the director at the Ministry of Health. We need better condoms. We need new condoms. It's all in here. Toroko floods are the worst in the whole country, according to the minister, and patients stranded as the health workers abscond from duty. By the way, they're now demanding their allowances again. The nurses, the doctors, they're saying we're back to a strike now. Patients are stranded in one way or the other. It's all here in the Daily Monitor. Why Kutesa lost Mawogola North. NRM party election is substantiating on this. I'm praying so much that this week I could have a conversation with the lady who lost, that is Kutesa's daughter Musherere, and at the same time Sodo. I'll have them on this set and we'll have to discuss more about what transpired in these elections. Then health centers get immunization facility after Daily Monitor story. We turn on your world. Get to know more about that when you get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. And just a quick one, just to run through the new vision today. The big headline says, teachers split over reopening of schools as the Teachers' Day celebrations are underway till the 12th of October teachers have divided opinions about opening of schools. We're going to have that conversation very soon, very, very soon. Then illegal loggers take on Bugoma forests. Get to know how they got them. Then universities set dates for reporting and the exams. Gains in water, transport and sector. It's all in here. Then Senkobuge joins Lord Mayor race. At one time, he vied for presidency. 2 days to, the big day, he gave up, and it's all here. Ugandans to get affordable housing plan. Get to know how much it's going to cost us. Ministry of Health asks for 5.7 billion for student masks. Hey, we need masks for our children. Then Masindi resident judge airlifted to Nakasero Hospital after the car crash. See news cycles this week. And being a Teachers' Week, it comes at a time when there are fears that teachers and the students themselves are having given up on education as it stands for 6 months or 7. Now, to speak to us about this and more, we have Mr. Patrick Byakatonda, the Director of the Directorate of Industrial Training, and John Braxton Mukasa, the Deputy Head Master of Namugongo Vocational Secondary School. Good morning, gentlemen. I love your position. Director of the Directorate. Good morning. So the issue of teachers opening up their schools, it's a conversation. It's even on the front page today. But how ready are we? Starting from you, Director of the Directorate, when you look at the entire positioning of the education sector, are we ready? Are our teachers baby stepped? Are they mentally ready to have this conversation?
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. What I can say, I think that is why we have started with partial opening with candidate classes, and then eventually to maybe, I think the decision, His Excellency says the decision for other classes will be made possibly in January. But the purpose is building up to prepare both the teachers and the runners for reopening.
Mr. Byakatonda, what safety measures do you have in place, especially for the institutions you take with regards to the students? How ready should we be looking at it? Like, how ready are you as an institution?
Okay, on my side, for the Directorate of Industrial Training, at least for us, the industry never closed. So all the practicum sites have been working. The agriculture has been being practiced by the parents and the runners. The tailoring has been always the practicum side is the what? Is the field. So what I can say, there was an inspection team which is supposed to inspect all the schools in the country, and whatever school is ready, then it can be opened. And there are procedures, SOPs, which are provided by Minister of Health.
Mr. Mukasa,
yes.
To start with you, in Namugongo, first of all, you guys have a very good neighborhood. The serenity is good and all that. It's good for learning. But yesterday here, we had a conversation, and I had the commissioner from the Ministry of Education, to be exact. And one of the panelists alluded to counseling, said that teachers need counseling before they get back to class, before they have these conversations with students. So I want to know, what measures have you put in place with regards to vocation, that the teachers are well counseled before they speak to the students?
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yes.
What I can talk about it is that we have already counseled our teachers because they have gone through a lot. Only that we are among the blessed institution because we have been paying them. Yeah.
Wow.
So
during COVID.
Obviously.
Impressive.
Yeah. And good enough, some of them had acquired the skills of vocation through the IT. Some of them were working, so they have been busy. So the counseling we organized for them, really it was not hectic. compared to other schools where some teachers were totally desperate. Yeah.
And looking at the other issue of them already being in shape and running, how did you merge the technological advancement, the e-learning and all that? Were they already acquainted with the education, with a new normal of technology?
Obviously, we have been sending work, and many students have been inboxing us, asking questions in all sections, because we are running a dual curriculum. We have the vocation section and we have the academic section, so which is emerged together. So the vocational teachers have been giving work, theory. Some of them have been given practical. Some of them have been out in workshops doing some practices and practicing what they started. They studied. And then for the theory part or academics, they have been getting each and everything they wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't badly affected.
No.
Mr. Byakatunda, how did COVID-19 affect your operations?
Thank you very much. COVID-19, as you know, schools were closed.
Yes.
And institutions of higher learning. So there was no business. There was no assessment for institutional based. There was no training. It was only home-based training which was taking place, where students were given what? Packages. Then for the Directorate of Industrial Training, as you see, we have the arm of the industry. So the industry, we are not closed. Okay, some of the industries, some of the informal sectors, what I can say, like the saloons, were partially closed and then reopened. So when they reopened, the business did what? Started. However, when you close one arm, it affects the entire cycle.
Oh, yes.
So the income from what would have generated from other sectors, training institutions and whatever, that one was affected. Then we used this lockdown to finalize the lower secondary curriculum, the assessment and training packages. What we call those packages come from the vocational, the pre-vocational subjects, and those packages, they will be ready for distribution. So we used the holiday to develop them, to use the expert. If you go to, for instance, for music, dance and drama, that's how we had the advantage of getting the Andrew Ben and Kiwuka, the Nanduja.
Because they were available now.
They were now available.
And affordable.
Definitely, definitely. Then when you go for sports, we
Yes.
managed now to get the Andrew Mwesugwa, the George Semogerere, the Mia, to mention but a few.
That's interesting.
Because we used this time to make much preparation. And for our candidates, our students, we could encourage them, please do the practical.
Oh, yes.
When you are still in a lockdown. Then the theory, when the schools reopen, you will now do the what? The theory.
Wow. The approach seems to be a little more feasible from where I stand. That there is too much time the students had, and they could engage in that. Then when we open up, they come back for theory. Mr. Mukasa, when you look at this, it's in reverse mechanics for the students. Adaptation, how fast were they in position to adapt? Because now I'm going to practice something I've not studied in theory yet. But here I am, I'm practicing it.
Okay. Yeah, on our side, we had planned for both. As I had told you, that they have been receiving theory packages. Some of them could interpret. Those who could not interpret could call in. Then we guide them. We know, we never wanted to be in a safe mode.
Oh, yeah.
Because by the time they open up schools, we wanted them to be alert. And I think things will move on well. I can give an example. At Namugongo Second and Vocational School, so far we are going to receive 3 finalists.
Wow.
We have senior 4, senior 6, and senior 3s for DIT exams, because they have exams.
Senior 3s?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah. So that's why we have been sending packages, though we have been sending packages even for 1, 2, and 5, but even the senior 3s we are receiving packages.
Okay.
So where they could not interpret, we could talk. Where they could get stuck, they could wait for this time, and the time has come. The government has provided.
These models, they seem to come in the wake of COVID-19. How did you baby step the parents to understand these, or even the students themselves to understand these are the modalities we're going to run? Because from your submission, Mr. Mukasa, it appears like you were ready even before COVID came. That as soon as it came, you just rolled out, you said, this is how we're going to run. So we need to know, what modalities did you take to baby step them that this is what we're going to run with, and they immediately plugged in?
Yeah, you know, at first when they closed the schools, we thought maybe it will take only 1 month. But as time went on, we came to realize that it might take some time. So we decided to sit with the board. And then after sitting with the board, we were in touch with PTA executive. And when we sat, we came out with a resolution. And since we had all the contacts for our clients, we were able to communicate, and we came up with WhatsApp groups, email grouping according to classes.
Okay.
So we were communicating. At first, as we were using WhatsApp, it was very hard for those people who could join later to access the material.
Yes.
So sometimes we could resend. So we decided to go for email.
Okay.
And then they were able to even do work, send, we mark, you go through, depending on the accessibility of the media.
Director, what he's saying seems to be a little more cognitive to a vocational institute. He's lucky he's in Namgongo, but imagine a vocational training institute that is in maybe in Mitoma. And they're having these technological challenges. Does the directorate have a strategic digital plan or technological strategy where we could have portals where all this information is on portals and people can access them around the country? If I'm doing vocational and the directorate has put up this infrastructure with regard to the digital strategy, students could just be given links, go to that portal, you download that, read, and then you upload, and then we download this side and reassess.
Okay, thank you very much. If you are in Mitoma, you are not in Namugongo.
Yes.
Vocational is a core. It is from Latin. It is derived from Latin. Now, your core is to become a tailor.
Oh, a plumber.
Or a plumber.
I love water. Yeah.
Or a plumber.
Yes.
So do you need a portal to do plumbing?
For theory part, because when he alludes that we had to send information on WhatsApp, then people would miss out on the earlier information. So those juxtapositions, if we had a portal where all this is placed, you just have to say, you go on that portal, read, and you'd come for the practicals.
Okay, for us, when you begin in the first year or senior 1, you already have a package, a full package, which takes you up to senior 3. What we call an assessment and training package. It is like a curriculum. So that one is comprehensive enough. It guides somebody to do the practicals. And our theory is the theory related to the practical. For instance, if you are doing tailoring, the mathematics will not be Pythagoras theorem and the rest.
Oh, yes.
But it will be the measuring.
The tape.
The tape.
Kaba, what?
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. As you write down the instructions. So already, by the time the closer came, they already had the what? The materials.
Okay.
The practical is done in the field during lockdown. If you take instance, motor vehicle mechanics, the garages are what? Are open. So you do the practicals from there. You have the assessment and training package, you use it. From there now, you can now come for the final assessment. And the assessment, it is either you know or you don't know.
There is no middle stand. Director, I want you to help us understand. As a directorate, there are some things you've been pushing, and for the betterment of the directorate and the entire vocational studies. What are some of those challenges? Maybe government has tried to help, but possibly there are still hinging challenges, not from only the government side, but even the citizens as a whole.
Okay, the challenge is one, vocational education is expensive. The materials used, but both in training delivery, also in assessment. For instance, for DIT, we don't do an exam. We don't conduct an exam. We do what we call an assessment. And we assess by trade tests. So we use more manpower. The ratio is 1 to 6 for verifiers. Then we need the equipment. Then we need the materials. So that is expensive.
Oh yeah.
For that is number one. So technical and vocational is what? Is expensive. Then another challenge is people don't know, majority they don't know. The negativity
about vocation.
About vocation also comes in.
You know, what has interested me here is that if my son is in senior 1, he can enroll for vocation as well. Now, back in our days, you could only go for vocation when you're done with senior 4, and your peers are saying, well, this is what I'm going to do, and you don't feel, maybe your parents don't have enough money, and you say, let me branch off. You used to call it, I'll branch into vocation. Now, baby, step us into the new way. The one would be in senior 1 and do vocation. So how do you go about that?
Yeah, that is the reform in the new curriculum.
Okay.
If you recall, the government white paper was to vocationalize secondary education.
Yes.
Now, as I told you, you never know your vocation. You can study and become a medical doctor when your vocation is in playing football, and you become a professional footballer. You can study and become an engineer. The example I use is in Kemba William. He's an engineer.
But he's good at football.
But he's good at what? That is the what? The
That's
vocation.
his vocation.
So we are saying now, don't kill people's talents. You never know what that child will become. Being a good lawyer does not prevent you from being a good businessman. Maybe that is your vocation. Or from owning a workshop of carpentry. It does not prevent you.
Wow. Mr. Mukasa,
yes, please.
This seems to change the entire narrative of the education where we are heading as a nation.
Yes.
What do you see at the end of the tunnel? If we have all this and the public understands this and we as a nation, we embrace it and give the support it needs.
Thank you so much. By the way, we delayed.
Thank you, because if this was in my time when I was in school, I don't think I'll be on set here. I'll be doing something. I'll maybe a plumber, something, doing that.
Not only that, you would have been here. Well, you have another side income somewhere. Maybe you have a furniture workshop somewhere.
Yeah, Mr.
Obviously.
Should have come earlier than before.
Which would have even given you enough bargaining power.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
We have seen people who go for interviews as a doctor, as a what. So he has the bargaining power. He has a workshop. Remember, I attained this certificate when he was still in senior 3. He has a workshop, which makes a lot of money.
And he has experience.
Definitely. Those are some of the people you'll find that they are not stressed at work because of the salary they get.
Yes. They have many streams of income.
Obviously.
Wow.
They even come to realize that really they were called to serve by God, maybe as a doctor.
It's a calling, yes.
But with the money issue, it's already
Everything
done
is
with the
sorted.
vocational staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So looking at this and the parents, how do we change the narrative that parents cannot demean and demonize Vocational Institute? Where do we have to start from? What is our call to action as citizens?
Yeah, first and foremost, we need to change our attitude. We thank DIT because it has done a lot of sensitization through media and other means, plus other people who are on board.
This year I've had him on this set thrice now. This is the third time.
Thank you for hosting him. Yeah. NCD has also come on board, a bit of it and other institutions. But they're working hand in hand, which is very good. So to go back to the question you asked, the issue is, as I told you that we delayed, I can tell you some of the benefits.
Please, we need to.
Definitely.
At least I saw there is financial liberty, one. I saw that already. And I saw that there is a lot of creativity. Your mind is tasked with different levels of creativity.
Leave alone being employed at each and every level. Because just imagine maybe you have failed to get fees and you have stopped in senior 3 or senior 1 according to the new curriculum. They're going to be doing different kind of modulars and they will be certified. Talk about maybe musicians, footballers, etc. All are going to be certified, which means that at each and every step, this child will be employed somewhere with a national certificate from DIT.
Oh yes.
Basing on competence-based assessment and training. So that's one advantage. You're already self-employed.
And I'm assessed, I'm certified.
Definitely.
You see, that has been my biggest worry. If a Ugandan gets done with senior 4 and senior 6, and they fail to get money to upgrade or to go to the university, when they meet bosses in interviews, they say, wasomachi. And there is no answer. Now, vocation is the answer.
Obviously.
I am a certified plumber. I am a oh God, carry on. Here's the benefit.
Another benefit. Automatically, if you join, if you do both, leave alone the employment part of it. Then I talked about the bargaining power. You have the bargaining power in the world of work. Number 2, it has helped those people who cannot acquire fees. Some parents educate their kids up to senior 4. Just imagine after senior 4, this kid can pay for himself or for herself fees. At our place we have one, it's called Opendi Joshua. He always go and work during holidays and make money and add on the
school fees.
The school fees. We have seen there is another gentleman, I call him gentleman right now, he was our former student. He joined the UPDF. Right
after
now.
This vocation.
He did building senior 3. When they were recruiting UPDF soldiers, he entered. And when he entered, he used the senior 3 certificate, though he had sat senior 4. As we talk right now,
he's in the engineering department.
Definitely. He's leaving today and he's going to Kabamba after the other training. And you'll find him busy in the civil department. All those are benefits. You understand?
Parents, if you're watching Morning at NTV today, you and I need to be, enlightened about what this is the new normal. So, winding up this conversation, Director of the Directorate, Mr. Byakatonda, how do we merge the two? Is it that when someone is on is doing senior 1 and up to senior 4, are these concurrently, or how do we go about that?
Thank you very much. How do we merge the two? We have vocational, we have general what? General secondary. Now, as you do all the subjects, you ask a kid of senior 1, what do you want to be? What is your passion? I want to become a plumber. I want to become a successful what? Farmer. So that one, all of the subjects I want to become, if you are doing physics, what do you want to become? Because physics is compulsory.
Yes.
I want to become
a mechanic.
A mechanic. Definitely a mechanic is also there.
Okay.
You start early. That is what we call lifelong learning. I want to become an electrician. There is a domestic what? Electrician at level 1. So by senior 3, you are able even to wire at home. You start from home. Then you can earn a living. By senior 4 vocation, you are already earning a what? A living. By senior 6 vocation, you are already earning the living.
You have your small business.
By holidays,
yes,
you are already earning. Even the teachers, by the way, because it was in the papers, some of the teachers are doing some vocational work. Some in COVID, they are even hesitating to come back.
Yes.
However, we encourage them to come back. And also, if they don't have qualifications, they come to DIT, we assess and certify them.
Wow. Well, there you have it. It's a conversation we are having. My colleague Stephen Mbide happens to be on Ginger Road. Yesterday, the traffic jam was horrendous. We need to know how it is this early morning. Stephen, if you can hear me, what's the latest update on traffic on the ground?
Just here at the Ginger Road, as we just said, it's clear here. There is no major incident here. As you drive towards the city center, if you know you're coming from either Old Port Bay Road or coming from Wampeo Avenue, and the rest of Ginger Road coming from areas like Lugogo, Nakawa, and in the areas, just know that after crossing the traffic lights of Chitugumo House, the rest of the road linking you towards the city, that is Kampala Road, is clear for now. Just between Lugogo and the traffic lights of Chitugumo House, that is where you're going to be finding some delays there. But the rest of the road here, as I've told you, is clear. Turning to those coming from industrial area, using the other side of Station Road, that is the road behind Shell Ginger Road. That road is also clear for you if you're around the Murana Road, Mbogo Road, and Chivuli, and you're heading towards the city, and make way and make use of that road, that is Station Road. You'll be accessing the city much faster, as well as you who is coming from Entebbe Road and you're trying to connect towards the Upper Nakasero and the City Civic Center. That is also, there's another road that is called the Nassa Road. You'll be also joining this the former ISO corner much faster than going through the rest of the Entebbe Road, connecting towards the traffic lights near Restock. But here, if you're not also joining the National Theatre side of Parliament Avenue, that is also through the Siadi Bar Avenue, that's the road going past the National Theatre. You also just be sure that there is no incident there, there's no major commotion or any delays for you if you're driving using any of the roads that are surrounding National Theatre or the Parliament Avenue, the Winton Road, as well as the other side of Huntington Road that is next to Kampala Conference Center. This is what is happening here on the streets of Kampala. Back to you in the studios, that is Andrew Chamagedo, and the rest of the conversations continue here on Morning NTV. Keep it here.
Thank you, Stephen Mbide. That's my colleague, Stephen Mbide, up and direct on the road, giving us the traffic update. Remember to wear your mask if you're coming to the city center, and have sanitizer in your car. In one word, the COVID is real and COVID kills. We're having a conversation about vocational training and how it is today. And it has come to my notice that the approach of the Germans taking children to the folk schools, it's finally in our country. Now you and I need to embrace it. As we're winding up, this director of the Directorate of the Industrial Training, what could be your last word to us as a nation?
My last word is to thank the entire ministry through the leadership of the First Lady, Mama Janet Carter Museveni, and also to thank the technical team headed by the Permanent Secretary, Alex Kakoza, to thank the colleagues, NCDC, UNEB, Executive Secretary. These people have worked hand in hand with DIT to see that we produce the product. We have had both policy guidance and also policy direction, which is very critical in making this success. But also to thank the players, the Namugongo. Because now they have softened our life. They are the real examples that this thing can work in Uganda.
Oh, yes.
It is not only in the paper.
It's practical.
It is practical.
Okay.
And also to thank the parents and to encourage them. Please encourage your children. Prepare the children. Don't prepare for them.
Prepare them.
Prepare them.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, Mr. John Braxton Mukasa, the Deputy Headmaster of Namugongo Vocational Senior Secondary School. Now, this is the key word. Whenever you're taking your children to school, secondary, look for the word vocational. If it's not there, run. Mr. Mukasa, what could be your last word?
My last word is, I have to use this opportunity to thank you because you have been hosting our boss.
The third time in a year.
Without him, the word vocation wouldn't have been there.
Absolutely. You're a forward thinker.
Obviously.
Yes.
And we have been with them. I think we are the first people to carry on the dual curriculum.
Okay.
I think it's now 14 years.
Wow.
Although the government is just coming on board. We thank the government itself for having embraced this whatever. We have been few in Uganda who offer both vocational and academics. But now men are coming on board. I request many to come for benchmarking in Namugongo Second and Vocational School. I thank the directors of Namugongo Second and Vocational School, plus the administrators and our good teachers who have cooperated. Those of second and vocational.
And you kept paying them all through.
Obviously.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That is Mr. John Braxton Mukasa, the Deputy Headmaster of Namugongo Vocational Senior Secondary School. And of course, we had the Director of the Directorate of the Industrial Training in Uganda, Mr. Byakatonde Patrick. It's Morning at NTV. Please, as a parent, as a citizen, involve your children in this kind of conversation. Like you said, prepare your child, don't prepare for them. Good morning.